Arlington mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. 7:07 on WMAL. Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson, not in the studios this morning in D.C.
We're not.
We decided to take the road on the show on the road, that is. And every Friday in the month of October, we'll be heading to a different location in Virginia because Virginia is a battleground state
that
for
sure is, yeah.
in this election. And it's also a big election for U.S. Senate. It's Tim Kaine versus George Allen. We are at the Metro 29 Diner in Arlington, right off of Lee Highway. We would love for you to come by and say hi. We're broadcasting for another 2 hours here, and we've got lots of food, talking politics. We've got people stopping by.
We're going to wade into the audience with a wireless microphone and actually talk to folks.
Former Congressman Tom Davis will be here about a half hour from now. Senator George Allen, who wants to be senator again, will join us about an hour from now. We'll talk to him then. And Brett Baer coming up from the Fox News Channel. We are pleased now to be joined by Brian Moran, who is chairman of the Democratic Party in the state of Virginia. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it.
Well, good morning to you all. This is the Brian Show.
That's
right?
Brian, and Brian.
Yes.
That's right. Well, we're tickled to have you. And by the way, he spells his name the correct way, Mr. Neiman.
With an I.
With an I.
Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Well, good. So you know that I'm the one with the Y, so I'm the one who's
You're the
different
oddball
here.
out. Yeah, that's
well,
right.
I should say our parents spelled it correct.
That's right.
I didn't have much to do with it at that time.
That's true.
But welcome to Arlington. This is about as blue an area that
I was going to say.
could choose.
We're pretty blue here, although there are a lot of people, Republicans around here right now. So my question to you, first off, is what happened to your guy the other night? President Obama did not perform very well. A CNN poll said 67% gave it to Mitt Romney. I think just about every Democrat admits it wasn't a good night for President Obama. What happened to him?
Well, I do think there is something to be said for a president having to share the stage with the opposition, the opponent, and the first time they're a little hesitant to be as aggressive as they might need to be.
Why is that, do you think?
Well, I think for 4 years he's been.
Oh, come on, everybody.
I think for 4 years he's been the leader of the country and, frankly, the world, and it's probably a little different scenario. And I will give credit to Mitt Romney. He was obviously strong. The pressure was on him to perform. I mean, he was for fear of losing this race pretty early on in the goings here, and things were not going well. But he was aggressive and forceful, and so the president's going to have to adjust in the next debate, and I suspect Joe Biden will next week. But and you've seen a more spirited president on the campaign trail as well the last 2 days.
Although Democrats, we talked to Lanny Davis yesterday. We saw the reaction from a lot of people on MSNBC, very upset that the president didn't perform better, didn't have a comeback for Mitt Romney, and didn't mention a lot of different things.
Right.
So what is the feeling within the Democratic Party right now? Is it anger towards the president? Are they like bewildered by the president? What is it?
No, not at all. I think he. I mean, if you watch the debate, though, I mean, he talked about the important issues. He did talk about the middle class and that they have two very different approaches to economic policies in this country. That the president was quite specific and forceful and said, we are not returning to the days of George Bush tax cuts and deregulating Wall Street. I mean, there was a long discussion about the Wall Street regulations. And I thought he was very substantive, and I think the American people ultimately want to understand that when they approach this race. I don't think the debate will necessarily change people's minds. I mean, we're right where we were.
I want to ask you about that, though, because a lot of people said that, if he had a good performance, it could be a game changer. I mean, overwhelmingly, people said that Mitt Romney performed better than the president did. Now, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, how does that translate? It's very close. On the presidential scale, most of the polls, there's like 5 polls out there that show that it's a 2-point race with Obama leading by 2 points. You have a bad performance, that could make the difference in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Well, it could, yeah. I mean, hey, all along I've been telling my fellow Democrats that, hey, play all 60 minutes. Don't let up. The polls are in our favor now, but truly the only poll that counts is the one on Election Day. Do not let up on the pedal here. Keep the throttle down until 7 p.m. on November 6th. And in this debate, if anything, it energized our base once again to make sure that they continue to need to knock the doors, make the phone calls, and get our vote out. And so, the issues themselves haven't changed one iota. I mean, that Mitt Romney was aggressive the other night, but the issues have not changed, and the reasons to support the president have not changed, and that he presents a much better path forward for this nation.
Now, in a moment, we're going to have, in the 8 o'clock hour, George Allen will be by here. But the Tim Kaine race with George Allen is very tight, although most of the polls are beginning to show a slight lead for Tim Kaine. You guys are feeling good about that?
We do feel
how much of a coattail effect will there be? I mean, if the president, let's say that this debate did have an impact, and perhaps the numbers change a little bit, do the numbers then also impact Tim Kaine?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think there will be some coattails, and there's a lot of synergy between the two right now. I mean, but Tim Kaine has a strong record to run on as governor. He has some great accolades, some third party that identified Virginia as the best managed state in the country, the best state to do business, the best state for a child's lifetime success. So Tim Kaine has his own strong record to run on, and he's doing that. And he's also talking about approaching the Senate in a bipartisan way. We all know there are some big challenges that need to be met, and so he's making that distinction between he and his opponent, that he is one who can actually reach across the aisle, as he did when he was governor and he had to work with the Republican legislature. So those are some themes he's using that are different from the president's. But all in all, we're working in a very coordinated fashion to make sure we deliver Virginia not only for the president, but make sure we put Tim Kaine in the United States Senate.
Talk with Brian Moran, chairman of the Virginia Democratic Party. We're live at the Metro 29 Diner in Arlington this morning as we take the show on the road. Virgil Good
gets a little less blue. I'm on the road this morning as well. We're heading out to Blacksburg and then Radford and Giles, Southwest Virginia. It's a little less blue in those areas than here in Arlington.
I was going to ask you that. Where do you think you have to make inroads in order to win both the presidential election and the race for Senate?
Well, here in Arlington, it's turnout, and in 2008, 77% turned out here, which is a terrific turnout, and I congratulate the citizens of Arlington. And the president received 71% of the vote. So the bigger the turnout, the better. Here in
the
Arlington,
better you do overall.
And for all over Virginia. I mean, in 2008 we had 75% turnout, which is terrific. Higher than in past years. And then 2009 we had less than 50%, 2010 less than 50% turnout. Democrats took it on the chin in those 2 years. So it is about turnout, and that again why over the next 32 days that we need to make sure that we get the turnout, because we as Democrats feel the more Virginians vote, the better we do.
So are you funneling money to Virgil Good? Are you happy Virgil Good's on the
Are you happy he's there?
Well, if you want to vote for the true conservative in this race, it's Virgil Good.
Let me ask you just a personal question, because as I listen to you speak, I can't help but notice how much you sound like your big brother, Congressman Jim Moran. And I'm just wondering, you were telling us that you are the little brother and he was the big brother in your family. There were a lot of kids there, right?
There were 7 of us.
Wow.
Irish Catholic family from Boston, and it was a very blessed family.
Did Big Brother pick on Little Brother at all, or was it the other way around?
Well, he picked on my brother John, and John picked on Kevin, and Kevin picked on
so
Paul, and Paul picked on me.
It was a family thing.
Yeah.
Trickle-down government. Well, it was great to have you.
Awesome.
It was great to have you here. We appreciate you stopping by.
We do appreciate you coming by.
Thanks very much, Brian
Great way
Moran,
to start the morning.
Virginia Democratic Chair.